Paula Abdul and a few of the other Lakers. Forever Your Girl. 7:12, 12 after 7 with Johnny Kent. Cloudy, showers, thunderstorms today, and a high 60. Partly cloudy tonight, showers and thunderstorms. Low tonight, 45. High tomorrow, 60. 46 and cloudy right now at WMGM.
Some of the other Lakers, huh?
Yeah.
I had to wait over a week for this because you weren't here. Well, there's another reason for it, actually. Letters. Oh, yes, we get letters.
We got a letter?
Oh, yes. Dated 3/22. It's a few weeks old already. John and Ken, radio's odd couple. How true.
So far, so good.
I drive a small school vehicle, and the students request that I put WMGM on the radio. We enjoy the news, McDonald's Golden Oldie Contest, and most of the jabber. However...
That's not bad.
However, I do not feel that your sexually oriented jabber is appropriate.
Your sexually oriented jabber?
I would appreciate it if you could refrain from sexually oriented jabber.
I think I did over the weekend.
From 7:15 to 8 a.m. That's why we're starting this now. When the students are on the bus.
I see.
If you don't feel you can refrain, herein comes the threat.
Uh-huh.
Then we will find another station to listen to.
Say it isn't so. No!
I turned off WAYV last year when they had their survey, and I can turn you off too.
Oh, that stupid sex survey.
I hope this will not be necessary. Which means, John, from now on,
yes,
between 7:15 and 8 a.m.,
it's a no-sex zone?
We cannot mention the word penis! Or words like orgasm!
Shh. It's children listening. You realize how many questions parents are going to have now?
We're going to lose a busload of listeners over this, and I don't want
How
that
big is the bus?
Huh?
It's got to be a certain size bus before I care.
It's got to be a certain size
Yeah,
bus.
I mean, if it's just 5 or 6 kids in a van, forget about it. Who cares? So we lose them. All right? If it's 92 people in a bus, yeah, then I care.
I have no idea. Small-sized vehicle. Probably about 10 kids.
Why don't they teach kids?
But they enjoy most of your jabber.
Most of my jabber? They just don't like my sex jabber.
Yes.
They're not the only ones.
She's quite unhappy with you.
My jabber has been very unpopular lately.
Keep it to a minimum.
Okay, we'll keep our sexual jabber to a minimum, which is another problem. Minimal sexual jabber. Always said, just why don't you just teach the kids what the words mean, okay? Stop making us responsible for the sexual perversions of the world.
These are the things that happen. We just talk about them.
Hey, we just talk about it. It's part of life, you know? Why don't you give some sex education at home? Then they'll understand. They won't think it's dirty, and then you won't be so offended, you know?
Right, it won't be such a secretive little giggling thing.
Don't make the same mistakes your parents made with you, okay? Just because you got all sorts of hang-ups and you can't hear certain words or certain topics on the radio doesn't mean you have to ruin your kids' lives by giving them the same hang-ups, okay? Let's get mature about this.
Of course, if it wasn't a giggling, closeted thing, we wouldn't be able to talk about it.
See, we talk about it because we know you have hang-ups and it makes you laugh and it makes you uncomfortable. I'm purposely trying to make you uncomfortable sometimes. We purposely try to make you laugh. Now, if you instilled your kids with healthy sexual attitudes, that would wipe out all the sexual humor. We wouldn't talk about it anymore because we knew it wouldn't get a reaction out of you. There'd be no shock value. There'd be nothing funny about it, okay? We'd stop talking about it. So it's your fault.
It would be funny.
It's your fault. It's your fault for carrying around these hang-ups all your life. Get with it already. Don't hold me responsible. You in the bus. Talking to you, buddy. You. Is it a guy?
No, it's a woman.
Oh, okay. You, lady. You're the one with the hang-up. 7:16 here at WMGM. 1 minute after 7 o'clock, Michael Sherman's News brought to you by Cotman Transmissions, 816 Dowdy Road in Pleasantville. John and Kenny are radio's odd couple.
South Jersey's hottest hits, 104MGM.
Paul, be your girl. Paul Abdul, 104MGM. Cloudy today with showers and thunderstorms, high in the low 60s. Same for tonight, same for tomorrow. Low tonight 45, high tomorrow 65. 53 right now at WMGM. Details of Taco Mania 2. Details of the Ultimate Prom Night Prize Package tonight after 7 o'clock with the Mudman. Only here on 104 MGM. Sorry you had to hear that twice, but I forgot to put the rock on the CD machine and keep it running. 7-Eleven here at 104.
We were Rock 104 at one time.
Yeah, and the rock is still around to keep the equipment running. Well, cloudy today. I'm not kidding either. You think this is a running gag. It's not a gag. Cloudy, showers and thunderstorms today. High in the low 60s. 53 right now and cloudy here at WMGM with John and Ken.
I have one nut in the news.
Nuts in the news.
Dropped him.
Who is this guy?
It's Spiro Agnew.
I thought he was dead.
You know, we got to start playing that game sooner or later because there was a question in the paper the other day about someone who they thought was dead, and so did I. It turns out the guy was alive. One of us.
I thought Spiro was dead.
No, he's in California. He lives out in Sacramento area. You know what he wants? This guy's a real nut. You may be aware that
By the way, if you're under the age 25, it was Nixon's old vice president, okay?
Yes, who resigned in 1973.
Because he's a crook.
Yeah, and eventually a judge ordered him to pay back some of the bribes he accepted as governor.
Yeah, he used to be, governor of Maryland, right?
Right.
Raked in a big bundle of money.
Right.
He was big shyster.
So they asked him to pay back the money plus some restitution, some additional monies. Agnew wants a tax deduction for that. That is really a hoot, isn't it? $142,500 he wants to claim.
He wants a tax deduction for paying back the money that he originally stole.
Exactly.
That's a good one.
That to be the laugh of the day. A definite nut in the news. Isn't it great?
This man was a heartbeat from the presidency, huh?
He tried before to get reimbursed, and they disallowed it.
It's like, Spiro, take a hike. You stole the money. It was illegal. You don't get a tax deduction. What does he think? It's a charity to give it back?
Anyway, he's appealing the decisions. That's amazing.
And you think...
Now, he fell off a bicycle a couple of months ago. Didn't he hurt his head or his arm or something?
I think he fell off the bike a long time ago.
Poor Spiro.
It was a massive head injury many years ago.
When you get born with the name Spiro.
Yeah, it ticked him off, and he never got over it. Never name your kid Spiro. Look what happens. He's, 75 years old now?
Yeah, he's soon in his 70s. Yeah.
A lunatic. It's the only way he stays in the news. Everybody would completely forget about him if he didn't do that.
It just takes guts to do that.
7:13 here at WMGM.
We think it's time to...
7:16. You want to hear songs from the 60s and 70s? Mark Daniels plays them at noon. You call in what you want to hear at 11:30. He plays them back at noon. It's Big Ernie's Jukebox, brought to you by Big Ernie's Restaurant in Wildwood. And it's all on 104 MGM. My favorite radio station. With pay, you have to send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to WMGM 15 Shore Road, Linwood 08221. We'll mail you back a form. You fill that out and mail it to us, and you win. For 50 cents in 2 envelopes, you'll get an extra vacation day if your boss agrees to it. So, time to do our day off with pay call here. Now, what did she do here? You know, when you send us the form, would you put your home phone number down? I think she sent us her work number. Now, how are we going to give her a day off with pay if I don't have her home number? She sent me a work number. She even gave me the extension, you know. So she'd rather go to work and have me call her at work and send her back home than giving me her home phone number. All right, you hang on a second. Now I got to straighten this out. See, I can't do this alone. I cannot possibly do this radio program by myself. I'm too incompetent. There's a reason they hired an assistant for me. 7:13 here at WMGM.
It's been my belief.
For MGM.
Surrendering it. I surrender. Well, we'll call this woman up at work in about an hour, and we'll have to send her home. 7:17, WMGM.
I get lost.
Hair.
6:50, 10 minutes to 7 o'clock. Cloudy this morning, sunny later, high 50. Right now it's 36 degrees. At WMGM later this morning.
What went on here yesterday? What the heck was that phone call about?
I had so many problems with the CD players that I started playing the records backwards yesterday.
Oh, that was a good idea.
Yeah.
We should start talking backwards, too.
I was playing it backwards and forwards, and I was just really fed up with the whole system here. So, let's, somebody's on the line. Hello, MGM.
Yes, hi. I just wanted to do...
You're on the air.
I'm on the air?
Yeah, what do you want?
Oh, I didn't want to do it on the air.
I don't want you to do it
Most
on the
people
air.
don't want you to.
What do you want to do?
I wanted to see if you would do me a special favor. Today is a 9-year special anniversary for me and my wife, and I just want to know if you'd give her a call, wake her up, and tell her that I've been missing her. I've been spending a lot of time at work, and she's been spending a lot of time at work. We haven't been...
Well, what if we wake her up and there's another guy who answers the phone?
Well, I know that won't be the case, but...
Why aren't you home in bed with her now?
Yeah.
I'm working.
Already?
No, not already. Midnight till 8.
Oh,
I'm
no.
rotating shift.
Where do you work?
That I don't want to say on the air.
Well, how long you been working overnights?
Well, we work rotating shift, 5 nights on, and then we're off 2 days, and we go to a different shift. And
5 nights is a long time for a woman alone.
Yeah. I'd be worried.
I'd be real worried.
All right, why don't you call back, because we got to call Philadelphia.
Yeah, I got to call Philadelphia. Why don't you call me later?
Okay.
All right. Bye.
We'd love to do everyone favors, but there's only 4 hours for this show. Gosh.
A lot of people ask us
Hey,
to make...
if you're listening out there, please call my mother. I forgot to tell her something and left this weekend without saying goodbye.
Why don't you make some calls for us?
Pick up my dry cleaning.
It's not a personal classified service here, you know. Hello, is Dennis Wilson there?
Well,
none of us are able to answer the phone right now.
hold on a second. That's the answer machine.
We're out at the library studying.
We're at the library studying.
This is a bill collector. Well, we put the check in the mail yesterday.
Listen to this message.
Well, I like the message. Keep that on.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well,
Hey, I like your message.
thanks.
This is John Cobell with Ken Champeau. You're live at WMGM in Atlantic City.
Yes?
Is
Yeah.
this Dennis Wilson?
Yes.
Guess what?
I want to do with pay.
No,
Yeah.
you didn't.
Not a day with pay, a day off with pay.
Since
Stay
you-
off with pay.
No, since you're so presumptuous, we decided to take it away.
Yeah.
Hey, Dennis Wilson.
Yes.
You're one of the Beach Boys, aren't you?
Used to be.
Aren't you the guy that died?
This is my second life.
Well, you had to get a life. You might as well try.
You're the guy
Hey,
who
Ray.
you're the guy who took a dive at a pool or something, did it?
What? You live in Philadelphia? Where do you work?
Well, I work for Brown & Bonnet Ambrister. We have 3 different offices.
Granite Bonnet Ambruster. What do they do?
They're architects, engineers, and planners.
Well, they're like, that was like Fort Knox to get you this day off. I called like 3 times. They wouldn't put me through unless I identified everything about myself, including what type of underwear I wear.
Who'd you talk to, Granite Bonnet or Ambruster?
I don't remember.
Hey, which guy do you like better?
Which one?
Which of the 3? Yeah.
Herb Grana. He's the man that runs our Atlantic City office.
That's who signed it, right?
Yeah, he's the guy who gave you the day off.
Yep.
Okay, I see. So what do you do? Are you an architect or a planner or an engineer?
Well, actually, I go to school up here at Drexel University,
Yeah.
and I'm going for civil engineering.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, you got the day off. What are you going to do?
geez, I don't know. I'm already all dressed for work.
Well,
You are?
well, undress for work and go back to bed, okay?
All
Yes,
right.
it's a definite. We arranged it for you.
No, man, I dressed for work. I got to go in now.
Don't call us asking for money or anything, okay?
Yeah, you don't. You
Go out and survey today.
your company pays for this, not
I
us.
went out
sorry.
and surveyed yesterday.
You did go out and survey. You one of those guys that stands there with that measuring thing you look through? Looks like a...
No, we just...
Looks like a telescope?
Take the regular old Stanley tape measure.
They're actually looking at women through windows when they do that.
What are you doing with that tape measure? Never mind.
Hey, we got to run, Dennis. Have a good day.
Have a good day off.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Dennis Wilson, former deceased member of the Beach Boys,
Back as a civil engineer.
getting a day off with pay. And you thought Shirley MacLaine...
It's embarrassing. He's at Drexel sitting there in civil engineering class singing In My Room. It's weird.
You thought Shirley MacLaine was crazy. Look at this. We got proof right here. It's all right, 6:54 WMGM. Ken S. Sports. Michael Sherman has news now.
Children, bring your parents to Hamilton Mall this Sunday.
You are allowed to either keep the venison yourself or donate it to charity.
If you hit one?
Yes. New state wildlife regulations in Massachusetts say that motorists who collide with a deer have that option.
A new form of hunting.
A biologist says it only seems fair when you consider the thousands of dollars in damage that a deer can do to your car, and in most cases, it probably is the deer's fault. They wander onto the road. And
that makes up for it. A few deer steaks, that covers it. I guess you could sell the deer steaks to repair the car, right?
I would say the deer lost something very dear to itself. Its life, you bum.
Yeah, but it's just an animal.
What are you going to do, sue the deer?
Oh, it's just an animal, Ken. Now, come on.
I'm going to sue this deer's family. However, there apparently...
by the way, I'm just kidding, all right?
There apparently is a small amendment to this rule as well. Should you die in the accident, the deer gets to keep your car.
And sell you off by the pound.
Bring you home to the family for deer meat. Have you seen The Far Side?
Here, let's have a Ralph roast. Yeah, it would be a good Far Side comic.
I think Ethel tasted better last week than this guy.
Deer dragging home some old man, eh? Honey, I'm home. Look what I hit. All right, we got sports and news next here in WMGM.
We think it's time to give your Geo dealer the business.
Ron Hextall is becoming a scoring threat in the NHL. Last night, he became the first goalie in hockey history to score a goal in the Stanley Cup playoffs. His length of the ice shot into an empty net with about a minute remaining gave his team shorthanded, and they clinched Philadelphia's 8-5 win over the Washington Capitals. Hextall's tally was the second of his career and the third ever credited to a goalie. Billy Smith of the Islanders was credited with the other back in 1979. The Flyers came from one goal behind 4 times last night before taking charge in the final 12 minutes. They now hold a 3-2 lead in the best-of-7 series, and they will be hosts for Game 6 tomorrow night at the Spectrum. Elsewhere, St. Louis and Boston wrapped up their series to move on to the next round, and if the Flyers can win tomorrow night, the Pittsburgh Penguins would be their next opponent, and that series would probably start on Saturday, depending on where the rest of the series are. It may not start, though, until next week. Baseball last night, a good night for the Phillies. Steve Olivares on the mound. He threw 7 shutout innings, and he doubled home 3 runs. The Phillies beat the Expos 6-2. Not good news for the Mets, though. The Pirates in their home opener beat them 4-3. Bill White threw out the first ball, I think, at every ballpark in the country this past week or so. He was there again. He threw out the first ball.
No, I think he set out a team of imitation Bill Whites.
Today, Kevin Gross returns to face his ex-teammates at the Vet. Game time 7:35. Montreal at Philadelphia. Don Carmen will be on the mound for the Phillies. Toronto beat the Yankees 11-6 in 10 innings. The Yankees in the basement, 1 win, 7 losses. They have lost 7 in a row. They haven't won since their opening game. Dave Righetti getting tossed about in the 10th inning by Toronto. Today, Toronto is at New York. John Candelaria will pitch for the Yankees. In the NBA last night, the Sixers were beaten by Cleveland, 92-90. Milwaukee over the Nets, 125-93. The long and laborious NBA season, the regular season, should end on Sunday, so hang in there. Today, Charlotte is at the Knicks. Tex Schramm, as you may know, is one of the chief executives of the Dallas Cowboys. However, they now have a new owner and a new coach, and there were rumors that Tex Schramm is kind of on the outs. What do you think of this evidence? He was not told of the 10-year contract that Jimmy Johnson just signed to coach the team. He was not invited to a team barbecue between 100 players. He was not invited to a meeting between Troy Aikman, the possible #1 draft pick, his agent, and the owner of the Cowboys. Tex? You picking up the hint here?
Text to start updating the resume.
At sports.
7:01 WMGM, and Michael Sherman has news. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Ken. At the top of the...
104MGM.
7:17.
The Atlantic City Press. Police in the area have been monitoring the roadways and the casinos for a possible Libyan attack.
At a casino.
This would have possibly happened on the 2-year anniversary of our attack on Libya, April 15th, 1987. According to these reporters, there was some information coming through federal and international agents that such an attack could occur. So patrols were beefed up around toll plazas on the expressway. There are a couple of areas on Route 322.
It says here, state police cruisers were situated a mile east of the Howard Johnson's Motel on Route 30 and on the Atlantic City Expressway just inside the Pleasantville Toll Plaza.
Now,
and on Route 322 near the Log Cabin Restaurant.
if they can attack anywhere, why a casino?
Because there's a lot of people in them.
Well, a casino, a lot of people in like a stadium, a lot of people in airports.
True. I don't know why.
Airports have always been the #1 fear
But if you see the groups of if you see groups of police cruisers on the highway, they're not looking for. It's not a speed trap. It's a terrorist trap.
Well, it's funny because one of the people that works here came in yesterday and said he couldn't believe how many police were hanging around a couple of toll barriers, and he thought they were just looking for the people that were going to be a dime short. Because April 16th was the new toll, the 15th is this report. So the timing of the two.
Well, if the Libyans weren't invading the area, they would be. They would be chasing after people who were a dime short on the toll.
Maybe they were worried that Libyans would try to go through the tolls without paying the extra dime. Imagine that guy. Where is he from?
How much does a tank have to pay if it goes through the toll?
How much is what?
A tank.
Oh, I see. If they
is that like is that a 2-axle vehicle? Is that like $1, I think, for a tank?
Pull over. You didn't pay your dime. Oh, it's an interesting looking grenade launcher you got back there. I want that dime.
What you using that for?
I was thinking, imagine that guy that we called that looks like Gaddafi. Imagine he rode around here last weekend.
You remember that?
That would have driven the police crazy. They thought they saw Gaddafi go by.
Remember the guy we called around here? We called a stockbroker in Millville. Boy, I bet you he's getting pulled over every 5 minutes. We called up a stockbroker a few weeks ago. It looks like Gaddafi. Yeah, he better sell his tank if he's smart.
He's got a lot of explaining to do.
Just a message to the police. If you see any vehicle with a rocket launcher, I probably would pull that over.
That might be a good idea.
The thing is, any family that looks Arab
would probably be followed.
Yeah, anybody who's like olive-skinned, I have a feeling, is getting pulled off the road.
Which is not
coming
really
to
fair,
Atlantic City, but what are you going to do,
This was a real... What I found interesting about that article is, like, nobody wanted to comment.
Yeah, I know.
They went everywhere, but nobody would say anything. It's sensitive, said a source. It's sensitive.
Well, I mean, if you are going to have high-level security, it's kind of stupid to go public with all the plans and details.
That's why this is coming out, 3 or 4 days after the 15th, which is the expected date. I just think it's something to do with the tax deadline.
It says the warning calls for...
Ever notice that we bombed Libya on the tax deadline?
Yeah, really.
It's a way of venting two forms of anger.
It says here the warning calls for an 8-day alert ending Thursday. Now, is that this Thursday? Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, because tomorrow's the 20th?
Now,
yeah, 2 days before and another day after.
You know what I don't understand about terrorists? Why do they always tell in advance what they're going to do?
I think word tends to leak out a lot of the time.
Because there's an 8-day alert until Thursday. Now, if you were a terrorist, wouldn't you bomb everybody on Friday then?
Yeah, well, the reason...
I'm not advocating this, but it just doesn't make sense that they know the alert is going to end on Thursday.
Well, first of all, the reason they have the 8-day alert is that they wanted to pick days in front and behind the anniversary of the attack. There was a big theory that the Libyans would attack us on the anniversary of our attack.
Oh, I see. All right.
But the Libyans don't know anything about dates. They were using the old Roman calendar. They come charging in June. I don't know. Were they there to check on tolls, or were they there to check on Libyan attackers? Quite a diverse issue.
Apparently, that's the only way to... If you ever have a delay in getting the cops over to your house, then just tell them there are Libyan terrorists inside. That'll get a whole swarm of them to... 7:13 here at WMGM. 104 MGM. All right. Sun, rain this morning, sunny later, high 65. Clear tonight, low 40. Sunny tomorrow, high 65. 50 right now at WMGM. Why don't we do a pig out?
All right. Let's do it.
104 MGM with your chance right now to oink for food. The Great Spring Pig Out continues. All right, we're going to take 2 callers, and they'll be oinking in competition. The winner gets a $30 gift certificate from Beefsteak Charlie's. 927-104-390-8300, toll free in Cape May County. I'll take the next 2
people
callers.
going one-on-one again, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
And the decision of the judges are final.
Absolutely. We're tough.
Ken and I are the judges.
Yesterday we gave away prizes to both, though, because one woman embarrassed herself and the other one did a good job.
Yeah, we got a woman yesterday she was working at the phone company, and she crawled on all
fours.
All fours and oinked.
That's proof of the power you've had over this phone company. You're getting employees now to get down on their hands and knees.
I wanted to get many members of the phone company to get on their hands and knees.
Like when a customer walks in, probably thinks that's like a new phone service, you know? It's the oink phone.
All right, caller 1.
Hi.
Hello?
Do I oink now?
No, you don't oink now. Wait.
Okay.
Who are you?
Doreen.
Doreen, where are you calling from?
Ocean City?
Are you in your home?
Yes.
Anyone around?
My kids.
Your kids?
They're far away, though.
Are you the Doreen we used to talk to on OND? No.
No.
All right. So Doreen used to call us over there.
See, Ken memorizes.
No, she had a dog that watched TV. I remember her. Remember her, John?
Yeah, I remember
know the dog that watches TV.
Maybe it is you.
I don't know.
All right, hang on. You're both goofy.
Oh, that's great. I
MGM,
remember her, just remember us.
MGM, hello.
Hello,
Who are you?
Sherry.
Sherry, where are you calling from?
Galloway.
Galloway?
Uh-huh.
Where you calling from home? Is there anybody around?
Yeah.
Who?
Sister.
Okay. Tell her to come into the room because we're going to make you go on all fours, all right?
Oh, okay.
All right, hang on. Kind of turns me on to know somebody's watching her. Doreen?
Yes.
All right, so are you the one with the dog who climbs up the refrigerator or not?
Oh, I thought you said watches TV. Well, it goes in the refrigerator. Yes, it does.
It goes on the
Oh, I
refrigerator.
forgot. No, there was somebody else who called. Oh, I can't remember every listener. Anyway, you do your oinking for us.
Okay.
More.
You know, I've found that women are in general better at this.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Pretty good oinker.
Thanks.
Not bad. That was
All
some
right.
good snorts.
All right, you hang on, all right, Doreen?
Okay.
You're not too embarrassed, are you?
No.
I don't think after that you have to dust the house much.
Does that hurt at all?
Not really. I think I practiced.
Okay.
You think?
You
weren't
right.
sure whether that was you normally or you were practicing.
Are you married?
So, yes, I am.
Probably keeping your husband up half the night in bed snorting, weren't you? It's like, honey, would you just stop that? It's turning me off. Hang on. All right, you there?
Yep.
All right, you got to get on all fours.
Oh, God. Okay.
All right, are you?
Yep.
Now, is your sister in the room?
Yeah.
Let me hear her yell so I know for sure.
Why?
I just want to know for sure the sister's in the room. It's part of my fantasy. You don't understand.
I heard that.
Okay,
Yeah, I heard
now
that.
you're on all fours?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, oink.
Okay.
More. Vacuum the carpet. All right, hang on. What do you think? Think number one?
I'm going to have to go with Doreen from Ocean City.
Okay. Hey there.
Yep.
You, lose.
You lost.
I lost.
Yeah.
Practice, maybe you can come back and snort again.
Okay.
Sorry about that. All right, she's
Bye-bye.
heartbroken. Bye-bye.
Maybe you can snort again.
You're a top oinker, Doreen.
Oh, great.
Grunter, whatever you want to call it.
Hey, do it again.
Yeah. It's the kind that really puts the old wiggle up the nose.
Yeah, you're not coughing up blood yet, are you? All right, you got a $30 gift certificate. Spend $1 on better singers next time. News brought to you by Central Shoes and Gowns, located in the Festival of Hamilton, 3950 Black Horse Pike in Mays Landing at 706.
Jersey's hottest hits, 104 MGM.
John and Ken here, Radio's Odd Couple. Going to be sunny today, high in the upper 60s. 32 degrees and clear now at WMGM. Oh, and it's $1,000 Thursday when you hear the sound of the Royal Toilet Flush. Call in if you're caller number 50 and over 21, you'll win $1,000. Ico. Bell Stars on 104 MGM.
Just don't know what it means. I don't know what it means.
Ico. Don't know what it means.
Bothering me. It is.
7:13 here at WMGM. I want to know what that song means. I like it a lot, but
Just enjoy it. It's a good dance tune. Don't worry about what it means.
it means something.
Ico?
The guy who wrote it meant something when he wrote it, yeah. Well, it's, sunny today, high in the upper 60s. Clear tonight, low of 40. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Slight chance of a shower and a high of 70. 32 degrees right now at WMGM with John and Ken.
As if Jim Wright doesn't have enough problems, now they're linking him with that British sex pot. That woman, apparently, who caused a lot of scandals over in Britain by
Wait.
sleeping with a bunch of British politicians, Pamela Bordes.
The one they did the movie on.
Not the one from the 60s. The one more recently. There's one more recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, there was one that... there's a picture of Jim and this woman taken during 1983 in a meeting in Wright's office on Capitol Hill.
At a meeting. She was having a meeting with him.
That was important.
Gee, and what were they discussing?
In his office.
In his office.
The London tabloid has bought the rights to her story. She was working for an Indian mystic and businessman, Chandra Swami. Well, that's what they were discussing, huh? Indian mysticism.
And there was some important mystic legislation that Wright was...
It says, among the things being discussed was the possibility of obtaining a green card permit for Pamela to come to America and become a resident. Unknown to Jim Wright.
Yeah.
This was at a time when she was, in her own words, working as sex bait for Swami's international business deals.
Sex bait?
Yeah, he'd send her out to entice the politicians to help him make a better deal.
So that's an interesting job to hold. I mean, to put on a
on an application.
To put on an application.
A green card application.
Yeah, really. Occupation, sex bait.
References? Parliament. See Britain.
Representatives, House of.
I tell you, when they get you. One thing I'm going to tell you about the Jim Wright thing, he's gone. He's out. He's finished. Why? Think about John Tower. The Republicans promised retribution. They promised they'd get even.
Oh, he's definitely gone. There's no doubt about it. He's definitely gone.
Every Republican is going to work night and day to get him out of there.
He could stand there and proclaim his innocence to the end of time, and he's out of there. He's got absolutely no hope. You know what? Is like a lot of the congressmen and senators have admitted privately, they won't say out loud, but they've admitted privately that their backgrounds are worse than Jim Wright's, and they're really scared that this is going to get up.